Welcome. I'm glad you're here because we talk a lot about what's going on with the markets, but then also what you can do with your own personal wealth plan. Now, there's a lot that is going on right now, and navigating the economy and the stock market is really something we need to be looking into as we head into 2025. Now, if you've been following us or even some recent events that we've been seeing, you've probably noticed some big elements like a shifting of inflation. And over the last couple years, we've had inflation come down, but now we're starting to see inflation creep back into the markets. And that is something that we're, not set up for on world front for investments or what that may mean for economies as well. And here's the good thing though, that as you're starting to think about this with respect to your own portfolio, with your own wealth plan, you are not alone because you and many others are thinking the exact same thing with some of this uncertainty that's out there. But the uncertainty can actually breed opportunities as well. And that's where we want to be taking a look at some of the ways that we can help to simplify what's going on and start to actually build up some of those different ideas for your investments. And most importantly, how you can protect and grow your wealth right now. That is what we want to be diving into. And let's get to some of the questions that you have, because I know that you're not alone in basically asking some of these questions, and you're wondering what inflation is actually going to do and how it impacts your overall wealth plan. And that's where we can even take a look at what happened in 2020 or 2022. I saw inflation really starting to climb. Well, this is in a different environment because we were raising interest rates, whereas now we're cutting interest rates. So the first thing that could change is that even though we're cutting interest rates right now, then we may actually remove future rate cuts in the future of 2025. So that's something that, actually could change our investments, because if our dollar starts going back up, if we start to see our interest rates start going back up, those change some of the different dynamics of housing, of commercial real estate, of how we relate to other countries and buying goods. So this is where you can actually set up to position yourself for some of this environment and a better understanding of what's going on. But I also know that you may be concerned with some of the geopolitical risks that are out there as well. So the tensions between Russia and Ukraine are huge, and it's something that has been overlooked since really the start of the war. But when we see this, when we see the elements of the fact that, generally speaking, after a presidential inauguration, and it doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or Republican, that basically time period tends to be a little softer for the stock market. So you can see the layers of complexity that are out there. But one of the things that we're really starting to see now, and this is based upon the math as of today, that we're going to be in either lead 3, which means that we're going to have a slowing growth of our economy but increasing inflation, or lead 2, where we have increasing growth of our economy and increasing inflation. But what both of those mean is that we're not in an environment that could cause a recession. We're not in an environment where we see a huge collapse, at least coming with the stock market. Now, it can happen at any time, yes, but when we're in these types of environments, it generally doesn't happen. But also, when we take a look at things, we don't want to derail your financial goals. And that's where we actually are right now, that we can take a look at the next number of months, and we don't see any major concern, again, based upon the data today, based upon what we're seeing today. Now, you may also be wondering what you should do before year end to optimize some of your wealth planning. And those are the things that we really want to dive into as well. Because when we talk about where to take action, it's important to take a look at your overall investments and what we can harvest losses, harvest some gains off of, and maybe make some switch and some changes for what's to come, but also your wealth plan. And taking action is actually very timely and critical right now as we come into the end of the year. So a couple opportunities here. We need to be looking at technology and some growth companies for investing, because those companies actually benefit from some of this inflation and the resilient consumer demand. And I've said this before, that we are in a K-shaped economy. So the bottom 65% is not doing very well and is not driving a lot of demand, but the top 35% of our economy is really driving a lot of purchasing and doing very well, because those are the ones that are most invested into the markets. And so we can actually be positioning that way for consumer spending to still happen with that 35%. Also, we can go into some structured income notes and provide some downside protection and many other places that we can be. But when it comes to some of the finalization of what we can be doing for your overall wealth plan. Remember required minimum distributions that you may need to take, charitable gifting, and that can actually come out of your IRA accounts with qualified charitable gifts or even from your savings accounts as well. We can also maximize how much you're contributing to your retirement accounts if you're still working. So all of these are just some small but big potential things to look into before year end. Now, the other element here is that when you would take a look at all the different elements of what you can do to proactively set yourself up for 2025, it really just means that if we get the small details taken care of, we know where the economy is going. So if we have some of those investments in the portfolios, if we start to take advantage of the year-end opportunities over time, that really adds up. And then we want to be figuring out where to control your overall financial plan and how that aligns with you. And as you have questions about this, we offer a simple conversation and what we call a free consultation to help you look at where you're at today, where you want to go in the future, and then see if there's any gaps that exist. So we'd be happy to talk through that with you so you can have some even more confidence and some clarity going into 2025. So thanks for watching. Please feel free to like this video, share it with someone that you want to be understanding and want them to be knowing more, and subscribe for future insights. We look forward to seeing you next time.